Do you feel like you're stuck? Is your life going nowhere fast? Welcome to the Results Kill Excuses show. I'm your host, Greg. I've been getting on here talking about what? The one and only thing we got today, right now, life. You have life, I have life. So let's talk about some life. Because guess what? Yesterday, 2,000 men chose pain and a lonely exit from this world. But today, guess what? Another 2,000 men will do the same thing. And so those are people that are actually choosing life, choosing death, excuse me. And yet, every single day, I think it's 186,000 people die every day. So this is a game of life and death. And yet we all take it for granted. We all think we got more time. We all think that our situation is the absolute worst and nothing's ever going to get better, and we just don't know what to do. Does any of that resonate with you? I can tell you I've been there. 2012, when I hit my rock bottom, it was tough. And it wasn't even the toughest part. Hitting the rock bottom was inevitable. I knew it was coming. There's no way I could have sustained that self-destructive, self-sabotaging pattern. I mean, it was a death spiral, man. So I knew it was coming. There was warning signs, but I didn't heed any of it. I literally just kept blowing past every warning sign. And by the grace of God, I didn't land up dead or in prison. And I always thought, man, I was going to be that person on the news driving drunk, one eye, seeing double vision, crashing into some innocent family and killing them. I always thought that could have been my fate. I sometimes hold that vision up to my head like a gun, saying that if I ever do turn back to alcohol, that's the hand I'm going to get dealt, because death would be an easy escape. To rot in a prison, in a fucking cell, in a cage, that would be a living hell for me. It's just jails in general, prisons are just so full of suffering. The little amount of time that I've spent in a cage, which is very brief, 42 or 48 hours, whatever the hold was. That's the longest I've ever been in a cage. And it's just, it's so fucking difficult, man. It's like full blown survival mode, but there's just so much suffering, human suffering in that environment. And yet, guess where else there's human suffering? In every community, every neighborhood, every home. Did you hear what I said? I said every. There's no exception. I don't care how beautiful, how lovely, how inspiring someone appears to be on the screen. There is suffering within them. No one is free of suffering. And go ahead and prove me wrong. I welcome it. I welcome you trying to prove me wrong on that fact, because I can tell you that, as I said earlier, my rock bottom was not my darkest nights. No, the battles that I have waged have only become more and more and more intense. The silver lining is, guess what? Because I have stayed the course, I have become more and more and more resilient, more and more strong, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically speaking. It's not just about the mental toughness. It's not just about the physical toughness. I mean, this is for aspects of your health: mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. And you can rearrange those in whatever order you want. If you want spiritual to be number one, then make spiritual number one. There's no right or wrong here. Did you hear that? There is no such thing as right or wrong. It's all an experience. And guess what? No one has the same starting point. We all experience things totally different. If I was to take all of you that watch this on a field trip, we all ride in the same vehicle, we all go to the same place, and then we even have some tour guides that take us around that place. We eat a meal together, meditate together, do some exercise together. At the end of the day, if I ask for everyone to get out a piece of paper and to write down what they experienced that day, how many of those people are going to give the exact same story? Zero. No one's going to have the same story. That's why comparison is the thief of joy. You can't compare. Like it's so foolish to compare. And yet social media enhances that exponentially every single day because we're bombarded. We see all these people on dream vacations and living their best life, sitting poolside, and we're over there, what? Sucking it up, man. Overwhelmed, getting crushed, can't even afford to keep the lights on, to pay the bills, to fucking put gas in the car. We just don't even know what to do. And yet we get to see everyone else playing and having their best, living their best life. And we use it as even more suffering, to feel that somehow something's wrong with us, to feel that somehow we're not good enough, that we're not like them, that what's wrong with us. We just start picking ourselves apart. And that's what leads us to going nowhere fast. When the most important thing that you could do is to literally do what's right there in front of you, right here, right now. And yet, one of the biggest challenges for adults, this week I've worked with two different people that have expressed the same thing, having a medical issue that I believe is related to concentration. And yet I'm not a medical professional here, so I'm not giving medical advice, but it's just really interesting that two people in very similar situations. I can't make this stuff up. Like I'm telling you, two people, two different worlds apart in very much similar dire straight type situations are both telling me that they have this thing. And I don't know if for that to be true. I'm not questioning whether it's true or not. But I do know that when we label ourselves, right, we identify with that. And I did this for many, many, many fucking years, man, as a veteran. The whole PTSD thing, the whole just disabled veteran thing, man, that like I'm so grateful that my ex-girlfriend, one of my ex-girlfriends, um my first serious relationship post divorce. I'm so grateful that this woman, she saw beyond the veteran stuff, right? And I feel like I owe this woman so much in this life, even though we don't still have any kind of a relationship in the 3D. I believe in the 5D it's different. I think the connection is still present, but she saw beyond the veteran stuff because at the time I was that typical veteran, military hat, veteran hat, camouflage this, combat boots that, and and of course, I was also very much stigmatized within my own subconscious that I'm disabled, that I'm broken. I remember telling her, "I'm a broken. I hope you can accept that I'm broken." And she's like, "Yeah, I love you so much." And yet I was already putting in the work. This was just a few years ago, and I'm talking already on a 12-year healing journey of sobriety. But the healing and the work, the harder, the heavier lifts have come really in the last handful of years. Emotionally speaking, the major healing breakthroughs. And yet she was able to kind of reimagine my attire, right? My fashion sense, which I liked because I used to love like kind of fucking dressing all preppy and nice and shit like that. And I dress kind of rugged now, but I don't. You're not gonna ever catch me wearing team stuff. I'm not a team guy. I'm not even really a brand guy. I don't like brands other than this one right here. That's the brand. Results kill excuses, man. I'm gonna rep my own shit. And yet I still love the, OD greens and blacks and, I love colors as well. But she helped me to like distance myself from the camouflage. And I still have a little bit of camo here and there, but it's just not like that this stereotypical veteran walking around. And I guess I bring this up because I really caution you that if you think you're this or you think you're that, and if even if a doctor says it, like if you've never heard the name Joe Dispenza, this man literally got hit by a vehicle, broke his fucking back, and instead of getting like surgery, having one of those halo things on the spine, he sat there in the fucking bed and healed himself with his mind. I don't think you guys understand how powerful we are. I know you don't. Like, this is documented that he healed himself with his mind. He reconstructed his spinal column by piece, by literally imagining and going into such a deep quantum space of meditation that he could literally envisioned just his body being whole again. And it was a miracle. And he's taught probably millions of people this same technique. But yet we can find ourselves in dire straits and acting as if we don't know what to do. And yet usually the thing that's the biggest burden is the fear. We're so afraid we don't know what to do. We do know what to do, but we're afraid to do it. As if somehow doing something new and taking a leap of faith is somehow scarier than staying stuck where you're at, going nowhere fast. And the whole way that this energy game works called life is if you let go of one thing. I can tell you, when I let go of alcohol, something else showed up. What was it? It was sweets. I got this huge sweet tooth. And then 2 years ago, like I finally had this awakening throughout this healing process that I'm like, wait, I don't have a sweet tooth. What I have is unresolved childhood trauma. I have trauma that needs to be healed and processed and worked through. And so I started saying, you know what? I'm done with the sweets. I want to just sit in this super fucking uncomfortable feeling inside of me and get to the root of it and heal it and speak life into it and allow those feelings to release, to create forgiveness and grace over me, to seek God's support on this process. And yet in that season, I substituted, when I released the sweet tooth, I I filled it with a lot more affirmations, with a lot more journaling, with a lot more self-care practices. And so we have to be strategic about how we go about this healing journey. That if you feel like you're going nowhere fast, well, then just take the next step. What's the next step? And you already know the answer. You're just scared to finish the starting line. You heard that, right? Finish the starting line. It's so scary to take that first step along an unknown journey. But literally, we're all gonna die. We all die. In the end, we all die. Why not find the courage and the strength to take some risks and to just fucking take the leap of faith? To just see what happens. And do it with, when I say faith, I'm saying do it with God, right? Start seeking God in your life. If you feel you need to go to church, go to church. You could watch the shit online, whatever it is. God is not defined in a certain building or a certain denomination. He's everywhere. He's right there. He's right here, right now. Right. I believe he's speaking through me and speaking to you, speaking life into you, speaking inspiration into you. Right. And that's how you know it's God. God is so loving. He is so kind. He's very patient. Some of us, we want him to always enable us, right? To be so patient. Be patient with me, God. I see people post that all the time. Be patient. Be patient with my inaction. Be patient with my weaknesses. Be patient with the fact that I just want your grace and mercy. And I really just don't have the ability to do the work, because what I've learned about you is that I just trust in you, and that's good enough. When it's like, no, we need to put in the work. Our lives should reek of God's blessings. Like, our lives should be living testimonies of God's presence. If someone like me, that was literally the worst type of alcoholic, blackout, fight it out, shoot it out type drunk, if I could literally 12 years ago have hit rock bottom and said, I'm done, never again, why can't you? Why can't you change something in your life and never turn back? Because it hasn't hurt enough. The pain isn't that bad that you're willing to literally find the courage inside of you to do what you know you need to do. Because that's what it took me. When the pain got to be so bad, I said, I've got a few options here. Keep doing what I'm doing, continuing to make it worse, kill myself, or turn my fucking entire life around. And I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm ready to turn my fucking life around. Ain't nothing gonna stop me. I am willing. I am doing everything it takes. I've had so many people come to me and say, oh, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll do whatever it takes. I need my girl back. I need my guy back. I need my life back. I need. And it's like, I've seen it. Your house is on fire. I'm talking spiritually, metaphorically. Your house is on fire, right? And I've seen men, they come running through the door. Oh, women too. And then it's like the fire gets put out. Doesn't mean everything is fixed, but just like a few things start to calm down. And then boom, they're right back to it. They just wanted that little bit of relief. They're just playing fucking games and going where? Nowhere fast. And I think that people really need to get their shit together and really start to reevaluate how committed they are to changing their whole entire existence. changing your whole entire existence is not something that you do lightly. It's not something that you do kind of, sort of, or as a hobby. No, man, you wanna change your life, it's like it's all in. You say, "Take everything I have right now, I let go, I release of everything," right? I let go of everything I have right now because I know that I deserve everything that I see that I have yet to achieve. I deserve that, and I wanna call it into my life, but in order for me to do that, I have to let go of what I have in order to rise up to the next level. You can't do it as, like, a passive hobby that it actually gets less attention than your TV time, your sports team, your social media addiction, like any of these things. Like, changing your life needs to be your number one priority if it's something you desire to do and it's something that you desire to really get some traction in. And so if you're kind of stuck, I want to share with you one of the courses that I have on the Results Kill Excuses app. It's called I've Got 99 Problems and Positive Solutions for Everyone. It's a 5-lesson course designed to solve real life problems. And yet, I want to show you real quickly how do these courses work? What you have once you log into the app, you download the app, you create an account, then you'll have access to the first 5 courses. This happens to be one of them. You click on the course and then it brings you into this intro page. And so in the intro, there's an overview, what's in it for you. And honestly, you don't really need to read all that stuff. You can just either watch the video, right? Or what's even cooler than that is you can just listen to the audio, throw your earbuds in, go do some house chores, and listen to me tell you about the course. So if you're someone that struggles with attention or you're very distracted or you just don't feel like you have the time to sit there and fucking learn how to do a course, I have kind of tricked you by playing chess while you're playing checkers. And what I mean by that is I've already covered all the bases. You don't have to read. You do have to write. But you can either watch the intro, right? Or listen. And then once you're done with that, you would start lesson 1. Again, it just has I keep this really simple because I know most people don't like to read nowadays. What's in it for you? For this lesson 1, define what a problem means to you. Evaluate and select between imagined problems and real problems. Describe the difference between imagined problems and real problems. And again, you have a lesson overview. This is how the worksheet looks. It's really fun. It's interactive. It's just like being a little kid again back in school, but this is some heavy duty shit. And so you can either listen to the overview, which is me walking you through, because you can't just do these worksheets by yourself. You do need to watch the overview. Or you can listen to the overview. And what I recommend for most people is not to just overwhelm yourself. I say watch or listen to the lesson introduction the night before. Sleep on it. And then the next day, you have right here the forms that you need to download. The PDFs are right here for both worksheets. You have a worksheet and you have a reflection prompt. You need to be able to print those out. They're not fill-inable, right? And so even here, this is where it even gets cooler. If you're watching this, is there's even a lesson 1 step-by-step worksheet walkthrough video where I literally walk through me filling out that worksheet. Like, that's pretty cool. I don't know anywhere else that's offering that level of support for free. This is a tremendous amount of value. And these worksheets are really, really, really part of my healing journey. Like, I have literally condensed 12 years of healing and therapies and trying this and trying that. And the things that actually worked, I have been able to condense down using my teaching background, both in elementary and higher education. So I know how to work with children and I know how to work with adults. And then also I have this incredible award-winning graphic design experience that I've melded all that together to provide you with this level of content and support. And this is all just self-discovery. And then you have lesson 2 that builds off of lesson 1. It's all sequential, right? This is talking about avoiding. Anybody avoiding dealing with their problems, right? This is where I would start. Then you have lesson 3, right? Which builds off of that. Now you got to start facing your problems and you identify problems that you want. And you have the same content. You have a video to just listen to or watch. You have audio to listen to, right? You have your forms right here that you need to download for every lesson. There's 2 forms, there's 2 worksheets. And then you have a step-by-step video with me actually filling it out so that you have even extra support on how this is all coming together. Lesson 4, same thing. What's in it for you? Learning objectives, and then overview, audio, worksheets, walkthrough. It's beautiful. So other than you just making excuses, which we already know we need to kill those. We kill those here. We spit them out of our mouth. We blow them up. We destroy them by any means possible. And so lesson 5 has 2 reflection prompts. And so I don't do a walkthrough video on that because they're just your own. It's self-explanatory in here what you need to be reflecting on. And I highly recommend, packed into these, is that 1, you need to ask for help. You should have medical professional help. And what's so beautiful is by starting these courses that you can actually share this with your therapist. And I'm telling you, man, you will start to accelerate your healing process by actually reviewing a lot of the honest, reflective information that you put down on these worksheets and these reflection prompts. This is going to only accelerate your healing. I don't want you to take 12 years like it's taken me. I want you to be able to condense that down into like this really short amount of time. And this is not just for a certain type of person. I think everybody can benefit from the self-discovery, personal development, self-help type of content that's packed into these 25 lessons that are embedded in 5 specific, uniquely designed courses. The other thing that I'm offering is the one thing that you could purchase. Everything I've shown you so far is free. Downloading, other than if you had to go to a local printer, it's all free. And you pay for just black and white prints. But if you would like to, you can purchase a complete 5-course, 25-lesson workbook. It's right here. This is really nice. Nice, thick paper, beautiful. It has all 5 lessons, one after the other. And there is even just a really special bonus. There's 2 real big bonuses in this that you'll only get by purchasing that. It's $55. So with that being said, if you feel like you're going nowhere fast, well, it's time. There's a saying we had in the military. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And what that means is that you need to slow down your pace, start getting the shit out of your head, putting it down on paper in terms of problems so that you can start to develop some solutions. I leave you with like the serenity prayer. God, grant me and all that hear this message the courage to accept the things we cannot change, the strength to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There are things that you cannot change right now, and there are things you absolutely can change. You don't have to change everything all at once. That's where you get overwhelmed because your brain is trying to figure everything out and it can't. That's where you're getting overwhelmed. You need to be able to compartmentalize, and the way you do that is by writing it down. And if you're dealing with a lot of problems, download the app. It's not up on Android yet, but if you're hearing this message and you got an Android, I can send you a link to an online version that is the same content, which is what I just showed you in this presentation, and that's available right now until the App Store on Android starts to release it, and it should be very, very, very soon. Apple is ready to rock. So I welcome you to that. Thank you so much for listening to this message, being a part of this community, whether you think you're a part or not. If you are hearing my message, you are definitely being called into a place such as this. This community is for you. Keep checking in here, subscribe, share this message, right? Let's make a difference in this world. Let's literally expand this tent to reach as many like-minded people that truly are ready to release their vices, heal their emotional selves, and truly step into the divine role that they have been put here to receive your divine birthrights. You are so special. And I just pray a blessing over you. I pray peace over you. I give you strength. I send you resilienceness that if you get knocked down, get back up and don't give up, because you know the drill. Results, kill, excuses, turn, and transform your sick and tired into optimal and unstoppable. Greg is out.